I think you're really gonna enjoy it. I know I have.
I know I have. Yeah, I even finished all my tea already. God fucking damn it! Now I have no stimulants for the episode.
I'll stimulate you.
We are live now. You can share if you'd like. Do you want me to share before I start the music?
I mean,
or do you guys care?
I'm sharing it right now.
Hit me with it.
Hit you with it. You ready?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord. COVID-19, 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 COVID-19. I blow the wind of God from the state of Washington to the state of Maine to Brownsville, Texas, and the tip of
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. COVID-19, go away.
We're over you, bud.
Somebody posted this in the Times Spent Poorly chat group, and I was like, well, I know what opening song we're going to use for the next couple months.
All right, so here's my little gag I'm doing to you guys right now.
Are you going to do a taste test on this one?
Well, I've done Key Lightful, but... Making me a little slushy.
Did you guys, did either of you guys do, like, margaritas on Cinco?
No. I don't. I'm not going to say it. Never mind.
Do you not celebrate
Hold on, guys. Sorry.
You're fine.
You know that Cinco de Mayo is a far more celebrated holiday in the United States than it is in Mexico? Monetarily.
Well, of course it is. So I'm sure so is St. Patrick's Day and all of those like dumb drinking holidays.
Yep. No, I didn't. I didn't have a margarita because I don't like margaritas.
Yeah. So obviously, you guys, if any of you watched my episode with the lime, we tried to make margaritas, but it didn't really work.
Okay, two things about them. First off, it's hard to make margaritas at home. Secondly, I realize that they're not my favorite. I like tequila. I actually do like shots of tequila. I just it was too much. It was so much sugar.
Yeah, I have some Jose, or not Jose. Fuck, Jose's not even tequila. I have some Hornitos downstairs right now, but I'm not mixing it in a margarita. And I think I make better margaritas than anyone I've had at a bar, but I still fucking don't like them.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
But you used to work at a bar though.
Yeah, and I'm really just into making my own drinks anyways. Like we have a bunch of spearmint in the backyard, so I'm gonna crush some mojitos probably tomorrow. But yeah, give me a mojito. I love a good mojito.
Yeah. But we did make tacos too. We did make tacos at home. Well, we made burritos. We made burritos. It was good.
I ate more Thai curry on Tuesday, I think.
You know what's really funny though is we make burritos at least once a week.
Right.
We just made burrito night Tuesday.
Yeah, and exactly. I used to make burritos once a week too, and now I rotate between burritos and like street tacos. But I don't like being told what to eat for dinner on a certain day. So no.
We made a special thing. You know what we did? I took the half day off because that was also my there we go. Jake Matthews here. Wash hands. Love it. I did my online graduation, my virtual commencement on Tuesday. So I took the half day, and then we were like, screw it. Let's take a half day. Let's do like a little Cinco de Mayo thing too. Work it into the celebration. Otherwise, we usually don't care.
Right.
I'm not gonna go sit in line at Taco Time for an hour for shitty 69-cent tacos.
And
they sound good to me.
And they're bad.
They're not. You make them the night before. They're not even fresh. They're bad.
Well, and you can buy the freshest fucking hard-shelled taco from Taco Time, and it's still absolute trash. It should be free year-round. Their tacos should not cost money.
They should give me money to eat those tacos.
Well,
I'm not gonna. You know what it is? if I'm gonna choose between a fresh Taco Time taco, or any food from Taco Bell, I'll take the Bell any day, hands down.
Absolutely.
Even though I know what Bell's gonna do to me.
Yeah, like an hour and a half later.
Yep.
It's
a commitment I've made.
With how much money the rest of the food costs at Taco Time, like if you have a family and you go to Taco Time, you might as well have just gone to like a restaurant, and
you might as well have gone to a good Mexican restaurant in Lewiston.
Right, because
if you're gonna do a Taco Tuesday, you don't go to Taco Bell, Taco Time, Del Taco. You go get some Taco Bell, or make it yourself.
Make them yourself, or if you're in the Valley, go to Jose's Taco. This show's brought to you by Jose's Taco, a better taco.
A better taco. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, well, so here's the thing. I love the Bell, still. I'm not always been a Bell guy, but I love Taco Bell. But I'd rather go to like El Sombrero here, or like Taco CC, or I actually like Paraiso Vallarta in Clarkston more.
That place is so good.
That's my favorite restaurant. That was actually my mom's favorite Mexican restaurant. Mm-hmm. And that place is, so we would take her there every August 15th, her birthday. We'd go, Paraiso Vallarta, where you want to go? Why are we even asking you?
Why are we asking? Because that's the go-to.
Taco Time, though, good loaded biscuits and gravy in the mornings.
Their fast food breakfast is quality. It's good.
You just gotta know when to go there. It's breakfast time.
Well, also their loaded Mexi fries are fucking fire.
Okay.
Okay. Well, here's this also. The Taco Time. Sorry, go ahead.
Chris chicken burrito. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, good.
The Taco Time in Lewiston is the best Taco Time in the world. I've been to several Taco Times.
Yeah,
that's a happy
even the one in
thing.
Clarkston, even the one 5 minutes away is dog shit.
But it is still a happy day thing though too. I went to like when you're a kid. Mm-hmm. So when I was a kid, I was in Portland and I went to Taco Time. And I had no idea that it was different than every other Taco Time. So you go into a place and you're expecting something else. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how in Lewiston, the most disgusting restaurant on the planet was KFC downtown.
Right.
Everyone knows, if tourists go there. Otherwise, you don't go there unless you want a meth needle in your food. You just don't do it. But I've been to KFC at other places who run it like Happy Day would run it, and I'm like, whoa, this is actually really clean and nice in here. I can't believe it. They took care of this. Likewise, when I went to Portland, I went to Taco Time. I was like, oh, this is a disgusting heap of shit. Huh.
I think they all depend on who runs it, right? Yeah. But
welcome to sports program. 7 minutes of food.
Yeah,
it's COVID-19, man.
And I made a beer smoothie.
You did.
I was going to bring this up when he mentioned the beer smoothie. Smirnoff every year releases their fucking white trash as fuck red, white, and blue vodka. You know what I'm talking about? The red, white, and blue bomb pop vodka that tastes like a fucking bomb pop. It's a bomb pop and vodka. Well, my old roommates who love diabetes literally take shots of the bomb pop Smirnoff vodka like it's insulin.
Why?
And so this year, Smirnoff's caught on to the whole seltzer craze, right? Because they have the Smirnoff seltzer now. And they make the Bomb Pop vodka now into a Bomb Pop seltzer. And they got Batista to do the commercials. And they are the best commercials on television right now.
And I love him.
I think at some point, because of the commercial, we can probably play it on the show. We should pull up the commercial and put it on here. Because I want to see how you react to it, because Batista is a god in it. It's so quotable. But anyways, I'm now triggered to try to relive my old days because I miss my boys back home. And you're not going to get me to buy the Smirnoff Bomb Pop vodka because I just can't handle that much sugar. I won't enjoy it. I'd have to cut it with water. But if it's a seltzer, same concept, I'm in.
You can fuck with that.
I will.
What I put in my smoothie here was just the Key Lightful raspberry lime.
Right.
I fucked up because I have my ice machine on my fridge, right?
Right.
I should have done the crushed ice.
Right.
For some reason I did the cubed.
So it was way harder to grind up, huh?
Yeah, that's why I went and grinded it more out in the kitchen because that was.
It's not on YouTube.
I thought it was going to be more funny, but it wasn't that funny.
I like that you did it.
I liked what you did. I thought you were innovative. So you're an innovative guy.
We need innovation in times like these.
We went and bought a personal blender yesterday, not just to do this, but we had margarita mix left over from the show.
We have a really nice blender. I'll say that.
My blender is older than me.
That's sometimes that's the best.
Oh, those old ones, there's like no regulations, dude. Like you could fucking put a human in there and they wouldn't be. That would be a great way to get rid of evidence.
You drink a baby, the witch style. Found it. I did find the commercial. We'll watch it later.
Yeah, but you accidentally twist it the wrong way and all the stuff just falls out the bottom.
Yeah.
That's the problem with blenders. There's no safety there.
Around the world, how's everybody doing? We haven't seen each other for a week. How are you guys hanging in? No one's gotten COVID-19, right?
All around the world.
Well,
there wasn't anything good. There wasn't anything good. Like last week we had
I was excited
Sugar
about
Ray song.
All around the world, statues for me. You know how long I love you.
I love that I've always been I don't know a ton of the words to every song, but I know how every song in the world sounds. So I'll sing a song to my wife, but I'll not know any of the words, but I'll just make it sound like how it's supposed to sound because I know how, like I said, every song sounds.
Last Saturday, I was on the sauce, believe it or not. Spoiler alert. So we were sitting out by the fire, nice. And I was just thinking, what is the soundtrack to my night? What? And I couldn't pick one. I picked two. I messaged you one of them. Yeah. Because I was listening to the Crimson by Alkaline Trio. Mm-hmm. And so, obviously, that made the list. But number two, Someday by Sugar Ray.
Oh.
Answer the Phone is one of the best songs on the planet by Sugar Ray. I met him, by the way.
I would love to.
You met Mark McGrath?
I met him.
Kid? Were you the kid in the Sugar Gay video?
No.
You're not him? That wasn't you.
No, that's not me. No, I wasn't.
Also, you weren't a kid when that video came out.
How did you meet him?
In Vegas.
Oh.
He was in a tattoo shop when I went in there shit-faced to get a tattoo.
Was he getting like a sun tattooed on him somewhere?
He was just chilling, talking. I don't even know if he's getting a tattoo. He told me he was drinking Hawaiian Punch in his drink, but it was vodka.
Still, one of my favorite things ever is that Sugar Gay video that he gets so defensive in. Because I think it's funny that because he seems, if you watch other stuff with him, he seems like a cool dude. And actually,
like the episode of Workaholics he's in?
Yeah. And he seems super remorseful for even the video. Because he's like, I think, but it's more like, I wish nobody would have videotaped that.
Well, he was cool, by the way. And
I bet he was.
The way I introduced myself, I just kind of walked up and I was like, "Are you who I think you are?" And he goes, "I don't know. Do you hate me?" I was like, "No, not at all." No, not at all.
You're an absolute legend.
Yeah, so. I was like, "No, dude, I will suck you off right here."
I want to get him. I want to get the guy from Smash Mouth. I want to get the guy from Fastball in the same room.
Fastball, baby.
And then be like, hey, look, the three of you. I can't tell any of your music apart.
No, they're all so different.
I know.
What about Lit?
I know. Ooh, and the guy from Lit. And be like, look, the four of you. I can't tell any of your songs apart.
Here's why I don't like all these comparisons. Because
I'm doing this on purpose.
Because Sugar Ray made more than one or two good songs. You just mentioned like 3 other one-hit wonders, and then Sugar Ray in the same sentence.
I don't know, man. I think if we dug deep, we
could find
2-hit
wonders.
Not Fastball.
No, Fastball had 2 amazing songs.
What about Lit?
Lit had 2 singles, probably.
2 singles.
I don't know.
The album's good. That album's good though. The whole first album is good.
It is.
Smash Mouth had 1 and Walking on the Sun, but then All Star Yeah. And then whatever.
I Can't Get Enough of You, Baby. They had 3.
Oh yeah.
3. Because it was in Can't Hardly Wait. I just watched that movie a couple weeks ago. I don't know why.
Didn't they had a song on the Shrek, right?
The All Star.
Oh, that was All Star. On the Shrek. I sound like a. Wasn't it on the Shrek?
I love this show, by the way. This is my favorite thing we've ever done. we are 14 minutes and 58 seconds into it. We have not mentioned one sport.
How long
We're 14 minutes into the episode where we officially have like dated ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you put it on the Shrek, please?
I pulled up the Spotify of Lit.
Hello, Corey Matthews.
Corey Matthews, I love you. I still have your bass. Lit. I pulled up Lit on Spotify, dude. The lead singer's looking pretty fucking dope, man.
He looks good?
Yeah. He's a good-looking dude.
That's one of those, by the way,
that's all I got.
Lit is part of history because they're part of the best the best tweet I've ever had, which was I'll promise that I can sing the national anthem at a national like football game if people are okay with me singing Lit instead, because it's the only song I know the words to. And also, I don't know the words to it. I just know, when I was drunk, I didn't mean to call you that.
Yeah, exactly. I love drunk anthems because it's like, call you that. It's just everyone knows like a part of a verse. It's the last three sentences, the last three words of any verse. Everyone knows.
I can't pretend about something on this shit out of me.
Share the limit, dude. Come on, man. That song's fire, dude. You guys.
I love that song. I'm not.
Dude, Miserable.
I love this song.
So
Miserable's good, and the video for it's amazing.
Ziploc was super dope. I pulled that shit up.
Didn't they had the song for Titan AE also, Into Deep.
Oh yeah, that song.
No, not Into Deep. Over my head. Over my head. I'm thinking Into Deep from Sum 41.
Yeah. Over my head.
I want to get the guy from
right here. This one, yeah.
Like, look, the five of you. I can't tell your music apart. None of those bands are anything alike.
No, but there are certain people that talk about music that way. It's like I can't tell the difference between any of them.
I love all of those bands.
So then we're talking about all those bands, but then we're forgetting about Everclear.
No one ever forgot about Everclear. We just haven't mentioned them yet.
Do you know my favorite part of
SR-71 or American Hi-Fi?
My favorite part of every Everclear song, and I can say that because every one of their, at least their singles, had the exact same part, and that's the part where they go, yeah, oh yeah. Every single Everclear song at one point goes, yeah, oh yeah.
You know, new drinking game idea. You go to the top of their Spotify playlist, you hit play, and every time he says, oh yeah, you have to take a drink, and then find out
you will die.
And then you wake up in your neighbor's kiddie pool the next morning. And
ironically enough, probably next to the lead singer of Everclear.
I was gonna say Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray, but
and definitely Mark McGrath as well.
He's just sitting there in a lawn chair, getting a tattoo.
Love it.
Of a palm tree.
Of a palm tree or the sun.
Or he has seven suns with faces on them on his body.
He's got that tattoo of the sun that Dave Bautista has around his belly button.
I want to get a tattoo of Dave Bautista's the whole body, just so I can get a tattoo of Dave Bautista's tattoo.
I love it. I'm going to get a tattoo of Dave Bautista's face on my face. This is the best show. This is the best episode. We're 18 minutes in.
Some stuff we can talk about. I was excited about the schedule thing, and you shot me down real quick, Zach.
Well,
you broke me down a little bit. I was like, all right.
I just don't think it's gonna happen. So
let's talk about that. Yeah, schedule.
It's kind of like, I don't want to get too into it, but it's kind of like how I don't think the NBA season is happening at all, let alone some changed version of it. I don't think it's happening. The NFL, I think it's happening, but we're going to be lucky if the schedule they release is remotely similar to what they're putting out there right now. We're going to be really lucky if that's the case.
Well, is it going to be at least the same teams? They're not going to change the teams they're playing.
So I've been trying to be more optimistic since I bashed the schedule a couple days ago. And I try to watch some other television where they're being more optimistic, because I watch a lot of Pro Football Focus where they're like, why did they release it? This is stupid. Everything's dumb. So I decided to watch something else. And I watched Colin, of all people, who was actually more optimistic about it. Yeah. And he said, really, the first 4 weeks of the season have a lot of contingency plans the way that they did it, to where if the whole first 4 weeks needed to get moved, it'd be really easy to do so. So I'm kind of starting to buy into it now. Okay. But
yeah,
if I have to be real with you, I've actually never cared about the schedule release. I think it's, who cares? Yeah. Who cares what week teams play in?
I mean, I just like to see who the Niners are going to play besides the division. I want to know the other team. That's what I get excited about.
Like, I guess it's kind of interesting to see who the primetime games are, kind of. But the last 5 years have been terrible for Monday night games. I think we could all admit, like, the Sunday night games are so much better.
Monday night, yeah, and Thursday's always great.
And Thursdays, I don't think Thursday games should happen, but
I don't either.
I'm with the players on this one. But yep, Monday, Monday schedule, if it does happen this year, looks very good. I will say that. But I do not want to listen to Tessitore and Booger McFarlane ever again.
Dude, fuck Booger.
I actually think Booger's better than Tessitore.
And I don't like Booger as an analyst. I just don't. He talks way too much in the games, and he's so wrong on almost everything.
Well, me and Derek have talked about this. He doesn't break script.
Yeah,
he
whatever
can't
he's supposed
improvise.
to talk about. Yeah.
Andy Dalton's having a yeah. Talk about the Andy Dalton one. It's
There's that game. There's that game. It was the Steelers and the Bengals, and the Steelers were fucking dismantling the Bengals. Man, that was probably one of the worst games you and I watched. It was so bad.
They were dumping on their faces. Yeah.
Oh god, it was so bad, man. The Bengals were so bad in that game, and that wasn't even against a great Steelers team. Like the Steelers was just shredding them, and Booger McFarlane is just like, oh man, I just really like what they're doing here in Cincinnati. I mean, this Bengals team. He's talking about the coach. He's talking about Andy Dalton, and I mean, I don't disagree on. Oh, I like Andy Dalton a lot,
but he's not even there anymore, which is funny. He's like talking about them building around Andy.
Yeah, and it was just.
And this is Booger, right?
Yeah, while they're in the middle of a season where they're obviously tanking for a new quarterback.
Yeah,
and Zach and I, like, we were texting during the game. It just really felt like they gave Booger some like talking points before the game, and then he just once the Bengals started really losing, like he couldn't break away from the script. Like he didn't have enough enough of a improvisational skill to switch it up to go like man, I was gonna, even if he would have said like, man, I had a lot of notes I was gonna say about how good Cincinnati is during this game, but man, they're terrible, aren't they, right guys? Man, I was wrong.
So I feel like I've heard him do that before, where a team's getting slaughtered and then he just starts spewing bullshit.
Yeah, I think Zach were they supposed to, were the Bengals set, that was in Cincinnati, maybe? So
I don't think
the Bengals,
I don't know if they were favored. I think he's just too much of a crowd pleaser is his problem. Like he wants the fans on both sides to like him. And I think it makes sense because as a color commentator, he kind of got forced into that role by Jason Witten going back to the Cowboys, which, by the way, he was fucking terrible too. He was worse. He was worse than Booger by a lot. I think he got forced into that color commentary role, and I think they really wanted to like fan service his first season or two just to get people behind him. They even used him as an analyst, come around draft time. So they're obviously not moving away from him yet.
No.
Now, a couple quarterbacks are set to retire in the next few years, and guaranteed they will move away from him.
Yeah. Zach and I agree with you, Jesse.
Yeah, 100% with you, Jesse. I think Thursday is absolute trash. The games are extremely one-sided. They do put good games on Thursday night, but the games end up being duds almost every time.
Every time an injury happens,
why is that?
It shouldn't happen.
They don't have time to prepare. The home team has a
4 days if they play on Sunday.
The home team has a huge favor, like a huge advantage in preparation. Not only that, but I don't know if you've ever checked the Vegas odds, but if the Vegas odds are for a team, that team wins every time for Thursdays. It's just, they're so predictable. One team always doesn't show up.
No one's rested. Injuries happen more in that game, it feels like, than any other games.
The best part of Thursdays, the entire best part of Thursdays is the color rush uniforms. That's still going to be the case. That's the only good part.
So why don't they do it where
money is the answer to whatever you were going to ask.
I don't like going out. I don't like going that long without football is hard for me. So like Monday to Sunday would hurt me.
There's
So, like,
college football on Thursdays, though.
I don't like college football, guys.
Why not?
I have to now. I have to now.
Why?
I think there's enough.
Because I gotta have things to talk about. I can't just keep sitting here all day.
You're in the state of Oregon. You have teams to root for.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like,
well, he's a Ducks guy now.
A lot of the shows, I'm sitting here just getting shit faced, being like, "These guys got some good shit to say here."
I think you need to become an Oregon Ducks fan, man.
I am after. So I love Notre Dame, but I can have two teams. It's fucking college. Who cares?
I like Notre Dame.
I was gonna say, I think interesting.
But it was hard for me. It was hard for me because I was so stoked about that season when Notre Dame went and played Clemson, and then Clemson just wiped the fucking floor with them. And I was like, well, college is weird.
They shouldn't have been near that game.
Well, they were undefeated, man. I mean,
I know they're undefeated.
But that's because
Army.
because the way that they do their games is stupid, and that's on
against other
NCAA.
independent teams.
I don't like independent teams in college. I never have. Get yourself in a dang conference. Why not? They are for basketball. Why not do it for football?
like, what are the conferences? You have Big Sky, or
you start with the Big Sky.
That's because
ISU.
Pocatello is part of the Big Sky, right?
Yeah.
Well, so you have your Power Five. You have your Power Five. You always want to start there because they get every advantage in the world.
Okay.
SEC, ACC, Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12.
Okay.
That's your Power Five. And then you have like your MAC, your Mid-American Conference, your Mountain West, your Big Sky, the AAC or whatever, Atlantic, whatever. Yeah. The A10 might still be a thing. Conference USA is gone, I think. Big East, which is now just like Catholic schools. It's not. Yeah. The Big East used to be Miami, Virginia Tech, Florida. No, Florida State's always been ACC. They ended up all merging. Louisville, a bunch of pretty solid teams, and they all migrated to essentially the ACC, except for a couple, which went to the Big Ten. And then it basically turned the Big East in West Virginia. The Big East turned into UConn basketball, and that's pretty much it. That's all it is. Or maybe they left too, but that's where I think that's where Notre Dame is also. For
Remember
basketball.
the WAC, everyone?
The WAC.
Remember the WAC? They were good. That was a fun conference.
What was that? Boise State, Fresno State,
Boise State, Fresno
San Diego State.
Yeah, University of Idaho, which shouldn't have been in there ever.
Yeah, they have their butts.
Yeah, UI should have never left Big Sky ever.
The first time.
Was the stupidest thing they ever did. But
because they're an average team in the Big Sky.
Right. They should have. Yeah, they should have never left. That was a really bad idea. And then and Hawaii. Hawaii was in it.
Yeah. Right, and they're all basically Mountain West teams now.
Yeah, is Hawaii was independent for a season,
but now they're Mountain West.
Okay, so how many independent teams are there? Did you know?
If I had to say, Army, Navy, Notre Dame. I'm trying to think of who else.
There's three that I could think of.
Why don't we just Google it? We're literally all sitting at our computers.
I don't even know what that is.
I just thought Big Dick Swan would know.
It's a good question. None of them are bigger than those three teams.
Yeah.
As far as like fandom goes.
I just don't know why. Like that's silly that you would do that. Because then if you're winning, you're not winning. You're douche. I mean, you do. I mean, let's be honest. They did play some better teams.
Oh, BYU. But that isn't.
I thought BYU was in something.
I thought they basically only play Mountain West teams.
Yeah.
Liberty. It said this has got to be wrong. UMass, New Mexico State. It's saying a bunch of garbage. The internet's.
New Mexico
these
State
are like
not,
these are like historically independent schools.
Because New Mexico State, I thought was in that they're in a division. I don't know what they're in, but they're in something.
So
they play a lot of. That's weird. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, so for the schedule stuff for me, it's not something that's ever really excited me because I'm a Steelers fan and I feel like against the good teams, the Steelers will play bad. Against the bad teams, they'll play really bad. I'm always just like, I take one game at a time, man. I'm like TB12. I'm just like, one game at a time. Let's just get through this one. I just need them to win this one game.
And is it so? Most like homecoming games, they pay a team to come fucking lose, right?
Big schools do. It's smart. It's smart to not play a good team during homecoming.
Yeah.
But
I think it's kind of stupid.
I think U of I played Idaho State this year for their homecoming game.
Didn't they lose?
No, they beat them bad. They beat Idaho State bad. But Idaho State the year before beat them really bad.
That's what I was thinking of. I remember that because I was like, Idaho State has a football team? I didn't know that.
ISU?
Yeah, I didn't know they did.
Dude, there was 2 seasons where they had a quarterback, and I went to like several games.
It was good?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, we would sit on the visitor side and talk shit to the other team.
I've only recently
there, so we would just pick a player out, fucking fuck you 2-2, you fucking suck.
I didn't know anything about Idaho State until I started there for my graduate degree. So now I'm an Idaho State fan because like, oh yeah, cool, I finally get to go to a college that has a football team. And then I started watching some of the stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, they're not very good.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I was thinking about this for myself. Like, I don't deserve to root for a good team. Like, if I would have went to a major institution and they started winning, I'm like, I don't deserve this. I deserve to be a University of Idaho fan the rest of my life.
But you are a Virginia Tech, though, fan, right?
Growing up, I was, yes. Now I'm more of a Ducks guy, just locally, you know. But, yeah, growing up, definitely. But
traditionally, for Pac-12, I've been a Ducks guy, for sure.
See, and you know what? For people that didn't go to a NCAA school, like as many teams as you want. You didn't fucking go to any of them. You don't have any loyalties. Like a team in every conference, they don't play each other. Right. So when people pick one in all of them, like Virginia Tech, like Texas, like Oregon, none of them play each other.
Oh, go ahead.
I kind of like. I don't know. I like Washington State. Okay. Is that the Huskies?
No, Washington
Cougars.
Huskies.
The Cougars, and I like the Huskies too.
You like both?
I don't know, man. I was kind of rooting for the Huskies when they played the Ducks last year. That was a good game.
I like the Huskies because they have Chris Peterson out of Boise State.
Well, now they don't.
Why? Is he not there anymore?
He stepped down.
I did not know that.
He's done coaching, he says.
Really?
He accepted a we talked about this on the show.
Fuck, I missed that.
I was
there, but I wasn't there.
No, but I'm just saying I just in my brain I just missed that conversation. I didn't realize.
He accepted an administrative role with the team. A lot of people thought that was bullshit.
Oh.
A lot of people thought he was going to slowly transition somewhere else, but he said, I'm mentally exhausted. I want more time with my family. Something we've heard from a lot of other people that end up coaching somewhere else a year later. So there's been speculation of places he might go, and then there's other people who genuinely believe he's not a lifer. You know what I mean? Some coaches, Nick Saban, I would have said Urban Meyer, but he walks away so much. There's just certain guys that are lifers. They're going to do it until they die.
Chris Peterson does. Here's the thing: if he stays in the Pacific Northwest just to live around here, he's made enough money between Boise State and UW that he could just retire and be fine forever.
Well, and he's not. I'm sure that his administrative role still pays decent.
Yeah.
And he's the Northwest legend. He's definitely the best coach Boise State ever had. Oh, yeah. And a lot of people don't realize when he went to Washington, they had a pretty rough decade.
Yeah, they did.
Real rough run before him. So he turned them back into the program they should be.
They got to go to a playoffs with him.
Right.
They were bad, but they got to go to a playoff.
But they've been playoff caliber, top Pac-12,
absolutely,
basically the entire time. Now he's stepping down at the right time because next year Oregon's got guaranteed 2 of the top 10 draft picks in the NFL draft and the best defensive end in college football. What did that say?
It said, Sean, the Huskies are the worst.
So here's the thing, though. It was just a good game, and the Huskies looked like they had it, but then the Ducks came back and beat them.
Yeah. Which is what they do. I mean,
and it was their running back started fucking stomping the Huskies. It was a cool game. It was a fun game to watch.
I like the idea of liking a team in every conference. Also, for college football, I like college football because I can find trivial reasons to like a team. So, for instance, I have no attachment to LSU, but because I love Ed Ogeron so much, like I'll like that team until he's not there anymore.
Yeah,
go Tigers.
I have a hard.
He has a more of
Dang, he's Farmer Frank from the Water Boy.
enjoy those cigars back there now.
I have a hard time liking any school from the SEC because I've always been like a championship hater. I hate winners. Always have. So I have a hard time liking any of them, but when they come out of school, like if my team, the Falcons have a lot of players from Alabama and LSU, and that makes me happy because I know that my professional team will get better from that.
Right.
So I love LSU players when they come out.
Right. But you gotta admit you like Ed though.
I like Ed, yeah, but it will not. If they're playing any team but Clemson, though, do I root for LSU? Probably not. Is what I'm saying.
No, and I probably wouldn't. I would have never rooted for LSU before. I never cared about them before. I didn't care about them when they had, Les Miles. I didn't care.
Right, and honestly, it sounds stupid because it sounds like Les Miles is probably a pretty awesome dude. But I hated the Mad Hatter thing. Like, I didn't like the nickname. I didn't like the persona of the Mad Hatter. It's kind of like the Gruden Chucky thing. I think it's a really dumb shtick.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Gruden's gotten away from it. Since he's come back into coaching, back to the Raiders, back to where this Chucky persona was created, it hasn't really been a thing.
Yeah, you hear some people say here and there, but it's like not a thing.
Okay.
The Vegas Raiders, by the way.
The Vegas, yeah.
Raiders.
The Vegas Raiders.
Crazy.
That's
this
cool.
year, right?
When's that stadium supposed to be done? This year?
It's done.
Right?
It's done. It's done.
Yeah.
Cool.
It'll happen this season. It looks like a fucking ship out of Star Wars. It is cool. It is badass.
Clayton,
That's
the guy
awesome.
that keeps talking smack, he's a Raiders fan.
I have nothing wrong with them.
My dad loves the Raiders, so
I've never minded the Raiders. They're
when
fine.
they made the playoffs, I was really hoping that they could pull it out. 4 years ago?
Yeah, but that was that the year they got screwed and they made the playoffs? Derek Carr was having like an MVP caliber season and he got hurt.
He broke his thumb, right?
No, there was nothing they could do. You literally watching that game made it feel like it was like a wasted playoff spot.
It was sad.
Because they played the Texans, right?
I believe so.
And then the Texans obviously didn't go anywhere after that.
Well, before the Texans got Deshaun Watson and really afterwards, Bill O'Brien will get you in the playoffs every year and then fucking lose terribly. That is the only thing Bill O'Brien is guaranteed for is playoff losses.
Yeah.
And you can count on it. If you want to be a 10-6, 9-7 team every year, go get Bill O'Brien. Your players will hate him, but
that's because
you'll win 10 games. I don't know. He just says apparently, allegedly.
He's either racist or he just thinks that he's one of the guys. Like he can talk however he wants. Like he thinks he's cool,
right? With
all other ethnicities, so he just
calls women baby mamas and yeah.
Well, I don't see the problem with that. If you're a baby mama, you're a baby mama. That's ain't disrespectful, is it?
He's not the prisoners and inmates guy, right? Like, let the inmates run the asylum. He's not that guy, is he?
No, I don't think he'd have a job still if he was the one who said that. I think that was an owner, right?
That might have been, yeah.
If you're an owner, you can get away with it because, I mean,
yeah, you have to do it a lot of times, like the Clippers' old owner.
Yeah, you have to. That was bad.
That was really bad.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But the old Clippers owner.
He was on voicemail, leaving a voicemail to his girlfriend at the time.
I'll look it up later.
Telling her not to hang out with black dudes and.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really bad, and that wasn't the only. That was not an isolated incident. He did lots of stuff. I actually watched a thing on SB Nation recently where it was like the worst owner in history, and he would when Blake Griffin was on the Clippers, he would go to like a party and have Blake Griffin and then hold onto his arm and like bring it around and be like, look at him. Like,
jeez.
he's part black. Like, just be like really weird. Like Blake Griffin's like talked about it, like how weird he would be about it.
I love Blake Griffin.
So do I.
If you watch season 2 of Kidding, Jim Carrey's show on Showtime, he's on it and he plays himself. And but he's I call it gay Blake Griffin. So he's himself, but blatant homosexual.
That's fun.
And he embraces the hell out of it, and I'm a big fan. He
was really funny at what roast was he at? He roasted.
I haven't seen like any of the roasts.
He was one of the roast masters for shit. I can't remember who it was for now.
Not Justin Bieber.
No, it wasn't Bieber.
That's the only one I remember.
Rob Lowe?
No, it was.
I'm just thinking of ones I haven't
Bruce
seen.
Willis?
Could have been Trump. No, that's too old. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just Google it. I'll just look it up. You guys keep talking.
I guess so. The Niners schedule, by the way, if they play as good as they did this last season, and the teams they play as bad as they did last season, it's a pretty easy fucking schedule, bud.
You think so? See, that's the only thing that we've known for a while, though, who teams are playing. We just didn't know when, right?
Yeah.
But
Now that you
actually get to see the schedule laid out, though, is when you can really go like,
okay.
And if it does happen in that order, I think order matters.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you agree, but I think the order in which you play teams is important.
Absolutely.
All I meant earlier is I just don't get excited about it. But I think when me and Derek do, and you, because you've always been here, do our, because you never weren't on the show. I think when me and Derek we do week by week picks. Like, here's the rating. Literally 3 seasons now, we've done every single game before the season started and what their record will be.
Yeah.
So have you. And
yeah, absolutely, I have.
The order really matters. Like, me and Derek have both blatantly admitted that we picked a team to win a certain week just because we had picked them to lose like the 2 weeks previous.
Yeah,
so,
it's
which I do.
Yeah.
I just think
because we're like, 3 in a row. I don't know about this. Getting 3.
Yeah, or literally we'll go, the Jets aren't going to win 3 straight, so we just make them lose the 3rd game. And you know what? We usually end up being right. Like, that's the funny part about it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that was the season I said the Jets would be winless, and they've had more losing seasons than that season. The season I picked them to be winless, they were fine.
Right.
They weren't good, but they were fine. Since then, they've had way worse seasons.
Yeah, last year was bad. I mean, they had to put a couple of non-NFL caliber quarterbacks out there, like Luke Falk.
It was hard to watch. I mean, I think they were on like a Thursday night game, and it was awful.
They were the hardest team to watch, I think, last season when Darnold was out.
What an idiot, dude! Fucking wear a mouth condom, dude. Fuck.
Every time.
He was good when he came back. Well, not right at first.
Yeah.
No, I thought he really got his shit together near the end.
Yeah.
And this is an important year. It's year 3. And the only reason I think he gets more time than other rookie quarterbacks is because he was so young when he came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was 21 in his 2nd season in the NFL, which is wild to think about.
Yeah, so I was going to say that. Yeah. I'm not scared of the Packers in the slightest, but yeah, and I'm not scared of the Rams either, to be honest. I think the Rams fucked up.
Well, that'll be it's still a good rivalry game, though.
How did the Rams draft go?
It wasn't great.
Okay.
They addressed some needs, obviously replacing Todd Gurley, getting some defensive players they desperately needed. I think they replaced Cooks at wide receiver, so they didn't have a lot of picks. I know they didn't have a first round pick at all.
They didn't. They had like one.
But I mean, it's their 2nd year with Jalen Ramsey. They definitely got younger, which they needed to do. The biggest problem with the Rams is they're unproven now. This is not the Super Bowl Rams. This is an unproven team. The only thing we really still have from that is a couple of defensive pieces and Jared Goff. And we just don't know who they are. We know the other 3 teams in that division. We know the Niners are maybe even better than last year. The Cardinals get better every year. And as long as the Seahawks have Coach Carroll and Russell Wilson, we know who the Seahawks are. They are a tough out for any team, even on their off years.
Plus, they drafted really well defensively. They always do.
I mean, I have the schedule pulled up too, and yeah, he's right. Yeah, the Seattle to Packer game is very short. I don't care. I'm not scared of the Packers. I don't give a shit.
Is it in Green Bay or is it in
San Francisco? Green Bay at San Francisco.
Well, yeah. Okay.
And so, like, the first 5 games, though, man, like Jets, Giants, Eagles, Dolphins, like Eagles, maybe. I'm not scared of the other.
I think you win all 4 of those. I think you win all 4 of those.
I think we start with the Cardinals if this schedule is. Start with the Cardinals, and I'm scared of the Cardinals.
Cardinals will be the toughest team.
They got Hopkins now. They were scary with, like, Fitzgerald and that Kirk guy. Like, I think the Cardinals.
Christian Kirk. Yeah. Do you think if there's no crowd, like out of all the sports that are going to happen, like today we're going to have the first UFC pay-per-view since being back, and it's going to be amazing. That's today. There's
one of those guys is not fighting.
Are you doing your picks at the end?
Oh, I'm doing way more picks than I normally do because it's way more. Even with Jacare Souza getting COVID, he was only 1 of 24 that got it, which in my opinion, when I just saw the news, like 5 seconds after finding out, I'm like, shit, this is the beginning of the end, because Conor McGregor said this week that he's paying attention to all 3 and how they're handled on if he'll fight in July, which is the sport really needs. But the fact that only 1 person got it, and we even know the guy that he's going against didn't get it from like the stare down because they both wore masks, I think that's a success story, depending on if we get through the weekend and no other fighters get it by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No,
but yeah, it is the most stacked. I don't mean it's the best card ever, because that's what they're advertising it as. And I've had Dana White advertise probably 50 cards in my life that were the best card ever, according to the promotion. And promotions are whatever. They're every sport, every like wrestling, boxing.
Right.
They all do it. This is the biggest one of all time. Biggest Money in the Bank we've ever done. Craziest, you know what I mean? That's how you have to do it.
2 Money in the Bank matches at once.
Yeah.
So, and that's tomorrow, right?
No, it's Money in the Bank's tomorrow. Money in the Bank's tomorrow, and then UFC's tonight at 7 your time, 8 my time. So the top to bottom though is insane. So the Jacare fight was actually just the prelim main event. So the free fight main event was a former like champion in other organizations and going against Uriah Hall, which who was the person I feel bad for is the guy he's going against now. To put himself in this environment, right? To put himself around a bunch of other fighters, one of them, his opponent, getting COVID-19, and then to find out, guess what? You don't even fight now. He put himself at risk even by training for this, and now he has nothing to do today. He's the only person I really feel bad for. I don't feel bad for. I'm sure Jacare will be fine.
Oh, by the way, before I did want to mention that the Rams are still my pride of last year, because that was the team that I was actually 100% correct on, and I'm really proud of myself for that.
Nice.
And that was the team that I said that would not even sniff the playoffs.
Right. Yep. You stood by that from the beginning, before the season started.
Even when they had a pretty decent start. I was like, I don't know. I still I'm not there yet.
But what were you going to say about the no fan thing?
Go ahead.
Oh, back into football.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a hard right for a second, but I'm back on the road.
We'll give you the whole final segment.
I'm back on the road, baby. And we're back. I think football is going to be. The only reason I would say basketball is because of the squeaky shoes. I think football is going to be the weirdest one for no fans, because it is such a full field angle, right? Just the camera angles. You see a lot of the exterior. I think we're going to hear a lot more of what the quarterbacks are saying, which is going to be very XFL-y.
That's going to be weird.
Which will be interesting. You're going to hear a lot of, I'm hoping they'll let us into a little more of the PG-13 stuff, maybe the R stuff, as in like the receiver and the cornerback jibber jabbing. I think they should just mic Uncle Phil all season because he doesn't cuss, and let's just hear all of his safe words. Because I want to hear him trash talk some defenders. So if there's no crowd noise, Let's do that instead. Basketball will, if they do bring it back, which like I said, they won't. It'll be weird. I hate the squeaky shoe sound.
Oh yeah, that's awful.
It's going to be a lot more of that.
Yeah, it will be.
I don't know if you've ever watched, like, there's a reason the NBA Combine is not watched like the NFL Combine is. It's because it's literally just
squeaky shoes.
Squeaky shoes.
Yep. So.
Yeah.
So UFC will be fine. I think baseball. So I don't know if you guys saw, but Korean Baseball League came back this week.
Yes.
The ESPN guys are doing commentary at like midnight from their house here, to do the American commentary, and I think baseball is going to be just fine because I don't think the crowd has never, to me, played a huge role.
No, it doesn't matter.
And this might be the most exciting baseball season that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Because they're losing nothing from this. And if all the other sports are canceled, it might make baseball a lot sexier than it was before.
And baseball's a long enough season that they can start halfway through and it won't matter.
Right. But I think they'll be fine.
I'm still devastated about basketball.
Me too. I mean,
Yeah, it's sad.
My big thing, and I don't... So certain states are allowing teams to open up facilities again. One of the states, this is interesting, being Texas. And Mark Cuban's like, I'm not putting my team out there. But it doesn't mean that like the Rockets and the Spurs won't. And so when you start thinking about things like that, is it really fair that certain states are able to practice already and others aren't? Like, is that fair to the teams like California, that like the Lakers, who just can't? They're not allowed to. I don't know. I just don't. There's so much that would bother me about the way that they're going to try to do this that I actually, at this point, hope they just let's move on.
But I think things are going to get lifted a lot sooner than we think.
Not in California. That's the problem with all of these, including the NFL schedule. California's got too many teams. They have too many sports teams, and if they stay shut down, those teams just are going to have to relocate.
Yeah.
For the season.
I just looked at the Steelers schedule, and I just got an upset tummy.
Did it make your butt hurt a little bit?
It did a little bit. I mean, out of the gates, the Giants, that's fine. But then Broncos, Texans, Titans, Eagles, Browns, fine. Ravens, yuck. Cowboys, kind of yuck. Bengals, thank God. Jaguars, probably thank God. Ravens, oh no. Redskins, oh, that makes me feel better. Bills,
you guys are playing the NFC. You guys are playing the NFC East. That what you just read to me sounds just fine, bud.
I don't know.
You forget you're probably the best or second best defense in the entire league.
It is hard to remember that.
And you're playing a lot of teams with young quarterbacks.
And now I got 2 Watts.
Think about all the young quarterbacks.
TJ and Derek Watt.
Like, look at that schedule. Count all the young quarterbacks. The young
quarterbacks.
Count the young quarterbacks on the list, bud.
Have you seen this stuff?
Use your hands if you gotta.
Have you seen this stuff? Have you seen this stuff with Ben Roethlisberger, like his workouts and stuff, like what he's saying he's been doing?
No, I just can't get over Sean's
They're not
thing.
good.
Use your hands if you gotta.
Ben's been like, yeah, I'm drinking beer, and he's not. Does not bode well. I don't know if he's being serious. I don't think he cares. But
have you seen those old videos? Were you the one who shared it of Ben Roethlisberger doing quarterback sack drills? And he's just
that was me. I sent that to you guys.
It brings.
I sent that to you guys without a single response. By the way,
I was too busy laughing at
it. That's because I spent 3 days laughing my shaft off, bud.
That was really funny.
I went back. I mean, I didn't get any word from you guys, but I just went back and rewatched it like 7 times. Just like
it's really funny.
I kept replaying it, and I know so many Steeler fans that I should have just like mass circulated that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. Here, let me ask. I'll put this one on here. Eric Ebron going to Pittsburgh.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah. I talked about it a couple months ago. I thought it's fucking a great move.
Yeah.
If there's a team that really puts a premium on the tight end position, it's the Steelers. Look at any successful Steelers team. Baby's always got back when it
And
comes
then,
to the tight end position.
Who like Vance McDonald is like their best tight end.
Well,
right?
I think they're actually now pretty stacked at the position, and I think it was probably a smart move considering they have a lot of young receivers. So I think they're going to develop probably 2 or 3 really great receivers, but I just don't know if we're there yet with like Washington in his second year, and they drafted that guy out of Notre Dame. So I think having some veteran tight ends is great.
Ebron for sure, but Vance is just getting old.
Yeah.
I don't know how old Ebron is, but I know Vance was with the Niners for how many seasons?
Well, I can't think of his name, but who did they add? They added the guy from the Seahawks last year too, and he ended up being pretty all right.
I don't think Vance McDonald's only 29, so I think he might be. I think he might be younger than Eric Ebron, honestly.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Ebron just has had such. I mean.
Oh no, Ebron's only 27. I forget that. I mean, he was kind of a lot of people thought he was a bust in Detroit, but I think the Colts are really going to miss him.
Jack Doyle's not enough.
No, I like that combo, and I think that the Steelers saw that. You know what I mean? Like they saw that combination might be what they need, especially with an older quarterback. I think the tight ends will be Ben's friend this season, and I really like that team moving forward. I don't think their schedule is crazy. Now we have especially now with the extra wild card slot, right?
Yeah,
we have another wild card slot. There's going to be 3 teams in the AFC, 3 teams in the NFC with a wild.
Would they have been in last season?
They would have. I mean,
that's what they were saying on Dan.
They would have
on the DP show. Yeah,
they would have, and I think
thank God they weren't. Thank God they weren't. I'm glad it ended when it ended. I didn't want to see Devlin Hodges throw interceptions in a playoff game. It was a quick release. They put us out of our goddamn misery.
It was so sad to watch your quarterback.
They should, because they got rid of Dobbs, man. Dude, they should have kept Dobbs.
I don't care, man.
Mason Rudolph sucks. I hate him.
You have Mason Rudolph.
We do. Well, it doesn't matter now. I don't care. I think I am actually I am actually genuinely excited to have JT Barrett on the team.
I don't think he'll make it onto the field, but
he'll make it on the field before Devlin Hodges will ever get back on the field.
The Duck?
Yes.
Dude, come on. You don't like him? You like him less than Mason?
No. No, I hated Mason Rudolph because he's smug. But you know who I want on the field? I want somebody who will not throw as many interceptions.
I think Ben gets hurt again.
Nah, he'll be fine.
I think he gets hurt again.
They got a really good offensive line.
He's too old and fat.
Hey, look, that fatness, I love it. I'm embracing it.
That's fine, but
I like having some representation on the field.
But here's the thing: is I hate Ben Roethlisberger.
Most people do.
I hate him.
I love him.
I don't.
I like him.
I love him.
I don't. Never have.
Ben, man. I'm fine with him.
It's because of that Super Bowl, to be honest.
So he won me over before he even made the NFL. Like I knew I would like him when I was in high school and he played for Miami of Ohio. Mm-hmm. He was just fun because he was this big. Him and Leftwich both played in like the MAC conference because he played at Marshall. And I watched a game where it was Leftwich versus Ben, which that's amazing because Leftwich obviously became a quarterbacks coach in Pittsburgh for a little bit after he backed up Ben, and he backed Ben up at the end of his career. And in college, Ben, on 4th down, they'd send him out onto the field sometimes, like they were going to go for it, and then he would punt, and he was okay at it, wasn't great at it, but the fact that I was like, this big, husky quarterback, and he was quick in college, like he actually wasn't as big as he ever was in the NFL, like he was actually quite a bit trimmed down, he was kind of an athlete. I was like, this guy does everything, and you could start to tell that one or both of those quarterbacks.
Thank you, Jay.
We're going to be, Leftwich and Ben, they both ended up being chunksters.
Yeah.
But
I won't call him fat anymore. I'll call him chunksters.
My favorite memories as a Steelers fan, my favorite memories of Ben have been where you have 2 defensive players on each ankle, like it's an uncle at an Easter dinner where 2 kids are on each ankle and he's just dragging them along and then just dipping a little and still like getting a completion. It's enjoyable. I love watching it. He doesn't play the same now, obviously.
Do you remember ever being those kids? Like, you knew you were being a nuisance to the uncle, but you were also getting like dragged across like sticks in the grass and like small little roots of trees, and it fucking hurt. And if that happened to you now as an adult, you'd probably die.
Well, like how we were talking last week, like.
But as a little kid, you're just tough as shit and getting beat up the whole time, and just it's worth it because you're irritating an adult.
When Derek fell down that fucking well, or that
egress window well.
I like to believe it was a full well.
It was an egress window well, and I'm pretty sure it shaved 10 years easy off my life. I've never recovered fully from it. I will say I'm going to disagree with you. I think Ben plays. I think he'll be fine for the whole season.
Okay.
He's still. The biggest question will be: is he hurt his arm? And this is traditionally a guy who's got a cannon on him. So I mean,
and it was his throwing arm, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he had Tommy John surgery basically.
Oh yeah, I'm not positive what happened to him.
He had what like baseball pitchers get.
Clayton Kershaw's fucking nightmare.
Right. So, but I as long as he can still throw, I mean he's still one of the like he's a smart quarterback. He runs probably I mean, I have a bias, obviously, but I still think he runs one of the best no-huddle offenses in the league, and I think he'll be fine. I think we saw a glimpse of what his future is. I think eventually he'll be like a quarterback's coach and maybe an offensive coordinator.
I love Juju, by the way. Like on that note, I do love Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, me too.
He won me a fantasy run. So
he's a nice kid too. He's funny.
I like him.
Did you see the stuff where he's mic'd up and he's asking what everybody's doing after the game? But they're all like, "I'm gonna go home and be with my family," and he's like, "No, let's go do something." Like he's just like trying to get people to hang out with him. He's like the Nick Kroll skit.
I was just gonna say the ref from the Kroll show. I was just thinking that the whole time.
He's just
what are you guys doing after this? What are you guys doing?
Dude, did you see that when he's all mic'd up? He's like, "What are you guys doing after this?" And they're like, "Nothing. Like I'm not doing anything." And he's like, "Yo, I was thinking we could play some Fortnite." Like he's just trying to get people to like do shit. Like I loved it. I'm like, man, that's fun. He's a fun kid.
I've been watching a lot of famous people play Call of Duty lately. I think it's been really fun. Like the new like free Call of Duty.
Yeah,
it's been who is it? It went viral. Oh man, I'm having a hard time remembering his name. There's a UFC fighter who's actually really good at it, and it's kind of fun to watch. I don't really like watching people play video games. That's pretty well known about me. I think it's very silly to watch other people play games when you could just play the game.
I respectfully disagree with you.
Yeah, but I just don't. But this whole thing's gotten me a little into it. That's all I'm saying is I'm just saying maybe even after this is all over, I might watch a motherfucker pick up the sticks.
You should at least watch the Funhouse channel on YouTube. I think you would really enjoy it, actually.
I don't know what it is you just said.
They're funny dudes.
You said two things I've never heard of: Funhouse and YouTube, and I'm having a really hard time.
Yeah, I've never heard of YouTube.
We're sitting in an hour. Do you want to go ahead and do some picks, and then we'll watch Smirnoff Dave Bautista?
Yeah, that's really what I want. I really want that.
All right.
That's got to be great for someone who's listening to the show and not watching it to hear someone's voice get that cringy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want that.
Yeah.
Would you like if I put Dave Bautista on for you? Yeah.
Put him on for me.
That's pretty good. I like that. Oh, also,
sorry, Mom.
Before we get into the UFC, we will mention that tomorrow is Money in the Bank. We will find a way to do a live reaction stream for that. We got to work out some logistics with that for tomorrow. We'll talk about that when we get off here.
Oh, and I'll try to be more PC than last time.
Were you not PC?
Never, baby.
Okay, well that's fine then.
I had a lot of fun last time though, and we're gonna do that again.
I'm gonna get less PC.
Ooh.
I'm wearing those shorts. I'm starting the show off in those shorts.
Let's get physical, brother.
You know, we did a few years ago, we did a white trash themed WrestleMania party, and I wore some cutoffs much like your shorts.
I want you to do that.
I have to find them. I don't even know.
Like I'm gonna wear those shorts and I'm gonna sit like this.
Oh, I love it.
Because my TV's right there. So like I'm gonna give you guys the goods.
Oh, I love it. It's good. It's gonna be good. With that cardigan though.
Oh yeah,
No shirt.
Well,
I hope you don't wear a shirt underneath it.
I'm going to.
I prefer.
I'm chunky and I'm not satisfied with my body.
Why?
You know what I mean? Like
it's not about you. It's about the consumer.
like
That's true.
I don't like this yet.
I learned that from the Academy Award-winning film Joe Dirt.
So I
The Academy Award winner.
I can fat shame. Okay, I have a gut.
Yeah, it's funny. All right. UFC. You said there's a pay-per-view today.
There is, and I was like, so normally I pick a logical starting point, right? Like where names people probably heard of start on the card to start doing my picks, and then I kind of just do, 4 to 5 fights. But I kept scrolling down, and I'm like, well, all of these are well-known names, so I'm starting the third fight of the day, which is Nico Price versus Luque. Luque is a guaranteed fight of the night guy. Like every time, Nico Price is the same way. They're both extremely exciting, but this is not like skill-wise a very even fight. I don't think Nico Price is going to do a very good job, but he'll be exciting to watch. I think Luque kicks his ass though. Carla Esparza versus Michelle Watterson. I always pick Michelle Watterson because she is the karate hottie, and that's super biased and not a good way to pick a fight at all. If I was betting on the fight, I'd probably pick Carla Esparza to win in an extremely boring fight. This is
the rhyme though. The rhyme is fun. Karate hottie.
The karate hottie. I think Carla Esparza wins. I don't think it's exciting. This looks like a 15-minute grappling match. Great time to go outside and have a barbecue, because the next fight is one of my absolute favorites, and it's definitely going to be a grappling match, and I don't care. It's Fabricio Verdum, who's one of the all-time best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys to ever become a champion, versus a guy I think you two would absolutely love. His name is Alexei Oleinik. He is Russian. He hugs you like grizzly bear. He is this big, bald, like lurky. Like his shoulders are. He's one of those guys. His shoulders are just always forward like this. He's just lurking the entire time, and all he's trying to do is get a hold of you with his big grizzly bear arms and not let you go. And his signature move is like basically a choke where he doesn't need to get under your neck because he can just squeeze you so hard that you tap. And so that's what he does. And so this is guaranteed to go to the ground because it's Verdum, Alexei Oleinik. It has to. Except for in the last 4 or 5 years, Verdum's developed awesome kickboxing skills. But I think people want to see Alexei Oleinik. I've never seen someone this boring that people like, is what I'm trying to say. He is incredibly boring. He just stalks you like prey, and then hugs you.
I'll stalk you like prey.
I wear you like straw hat.
I make lampshade out of your skin.
And that's what I imagine he's saying. I like to imagine that he's actually bear hugging them and just like slowly crushing their skull. And he goes, "So what are you doing after this?" Like
he's like Juju.
Yeah, what are you doing? I'm actually gonna go home to my wife, and he's like, "No, you're not. You're going to the hospital, bud."
I squeeze you like anaconda with Jennifer Lopez.
So I actually showed a couple of my friends who don't really watch UFC one of his fights, and they fell in love with him. It's bizarre. He's a dude who has more probably natural back hair than I do chest hair, and I love that for him. And the very next fight.
Well, that's good. I like having representation in the ring. You know me.
Right, and I usually pick the beefcakes. That's pretty well known about me. I always go for the studs.
You like them.
I like a good stud,
big sweaty man.
And I like a big. And he's the opposite of that. He is He is everything you don't want to see shirtless in a man, I love it. I absolutely love it.
He's Derek on the beach.
Very next fight, Anthony Showtime Pettis versus Donald Cerrone. Now this is the main prelim because of the Jacare COVID situation. And this is the fight that would be a headlining fight on most like ESPN cards, and it's just the prelim main event. Donald Cerrone's lost 3, including that embarrassing less than 50-second fight against Conor McGregor.
That was too
bad. Cowboy admits, like, some nights he just gets so nervous that he goes out there and shits the bed. And I think that's exactly what happened. Biggest fight of his life. He said he's really looking forward to this fight because there's no crowd. He took this on 2 weeks' notice. There's no time to get in his own head and psych himself out. Yeah. And I think he goes out there and delivers. I think he beats Showtime. By the way, if you notice that I didn't even pick the Alexei Liddick and Verdum winner, let's just move past it.
Oh, by the way, Donald is my favorite fighter right now because he's on that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia
with
the fight milk.
With Paul Felder, the Irish Dragon,
Paul
Felder is amazing too, and like
that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Those two being on that episode just killed me and Felder's from Philly, and so him being on the episode just really brought the curmudgeon out of me, and it's one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah, we love your product.
I'll go back and pick Verdum real quick just because. Yeah, why not pick a winner?
Yeah, you didn't have to completely disregard it. You just had to say a name.
Yeah, Donald's the underdog against Showtime, and that makes sense to me. Showtime has looked really good at 170, but I think Cowboy wins it. I think if he loses, it would be a really great opportunity to retire. He just doesn't seem to give a fuck what we think about that. Next fight.
Paid.
Yeah. I'm going to butcher this, but next fight is Greg Hardy, the former NFL player that everyone hates and loves to watch lose. And he finally lost a fight legitimately in his last fight. Watching him get picked apart was fucking amazing because he's so easily hateable because he's such a piece of shit. And I think they gave him one. He's going against a guy I've never really heard of. His name is Jorgen De Castro. They're going back to giving Greg Hardy no-namers. I think they're trying to build his brand because people want to see him continue to lose, but you can't have him lose to no-namers, right? Then he's just gone. They want the big names to beat the shit out of him, so they need to give him a couple easy fights for him to get back into the top, 10 considerations so we can watch some of, the big monsters in the division just absolutely dismantle him, because that's what the people want. We want to watch Greg Hardy lose. So I pick Greg Hardy in this fight, which sucks. Next
fight. Wouldn't it be funny if he lost, though? Wouldn't it be funny if he lost?
To a no-namer? Well, I mean, the other guy's also an up-and-comer, so it could happen. I just don't know anything about him to pick him, right?
Right.
I've seen Greg Hardy be in there. He is clearly a former NFL athlete against some guys that are not probably athletes before they got into fighting. So he has a very distinct advantage against many UFC people. Calvin Kattar versus Jeremy Stephens, the next one. Kattar's the man. He's really becoming one of the guys in the 145-pound division. Jeremy Stephens is probably past his prime. I'll take Kattar. Let's make that one quick because the next fight's Rosenstruck versus Francis Ngannou, which is just two absolute Goliaths going against each other. I think Francis is back. I'm taking Ngannou. First round knockout. Next.
Next.
Triple C, Henry Cejudo. He is the king of cringe. He fully embraces it. He's the 125-pound and 135-pound champion. He likes to challenge the 125-pound women to fights because he loves to be cringy. Ever since he took on the king of cringe persona, he has become 1,000 times more fun to watch. And I think it saved the 125-pound division. He's one of those dudes who understands developing a character is marketable, and I think it's smart. He's going against Dominic Cruz, who is the greatest 135-pounder of all time. He also only fights once every 3 years because he's always injured. It's kind of sad. Now he's 35, trying to make another comeback. I actually think that Dominic Cruz wins this fight. That is my underdog of the card. I think he wins it. I'm excited for it. And then there's the final, which is Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje. Super exciting fight. Not the fight people wanted because everyone wanted Khabib or Conor or someone in this fight. Tony Ferguson's probably the greatest champion to never be the full UFC champion because he's always the interim champion while the real champion's out. I think he destroys Justin Gaethje. I don't think it's close. The odds aren't that far apart, which is interesting, but I think Tony Ferguson puts himself in a situation where he wins and then has to get set up to fight. The Khabib fight's been canceled 5 times now between Tony Ferguson and Khabib over the last 4 years. Been canceled 5 times now, the corona reason being the 5th different reason for canceling a fight between them. I think we'll get a 6th. I think it'll also get canceled. And they'll never fight each other. That's how all of this ends. And I don't think they should at this point. As a fan, I just don't want to see a 6th fight get canceled.
Right.
Ferguson will win. He'll fight Conor McGregor in July. It'll be the biggest fight of the year. I will love that fight. I don't even know who to pick yet, but I'm already planning on that being what happens. So those are my picks. It was weird to do it without you playing that sweet NFL music in the background.
I know. I'll get that next time.
Because I know I'm just talking to myself when it comes to UFC, so I need something going on in the background.
I mean, I go Conor all the way.
Well, and if we get a Ferguson-Conor fight, everyone will be excited for this because it will not be Khabib wearing Conor McGregor like a straw hat for 15 minutes again. I just don't know how people would get excited for that fight, like a Khabib rematch with Conor. I don't see how anyone could be excited for that fight, but could be wrong. Oh, here we go.
Hold on. Oh, this is it.
This is the commercial.
I thought it was an ad before an ad.
An ad before an ad.
That's what I thought it was.
So who is this young lady?
No, who knows?
Cool.
Okay.
But I'm into it.
I'll make sure the volume's up.
I actually thought the same thing when I saw this commercial. I'm like, am I supposed to know who this is? Because I know who Batista is.
Yeah, I have no clue who that is. Is that a Jenner?
No, they probably spent so much money on Batista that they had to go just find randos on the street because he cannot be cheap.
Ooh, look at that. All right, we're going to play this sucker now.
America.
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 America. You had plans,
God.
barbecues, sports, and we were gonna make a big patriotic commercial about summer parties. We made Dave a tiny monster truck, a can that changes color.
Boom.
And got 20 takes of Diane doing this.
That's Diane.
But right now, America needs us to change those plans.
Damn.
So come on, people. Don't invite all your friends over.
Seriously, don't.
Get takeout. Don't eat out.
Why would you?
Don't stand so close to Megan. We need her, okay? And this one hurts to say, but don't vogue anywhere near Laverne. Don't. It's time we get creative, find new ways to hang out, and keep each other's spirits up. Because we will party together again. But for now, hang out from home for America.
That's
All right.
good.
I see you smearing off.
That's actually not the one that I was thinking of. There's a short one that's just Dave Batista, but that's good too. Maybe, yeah.
I like that one.
There's one that's just Dave Batista talking.
I'm gonna find. Oh, I found it. Is it Dave's inner monologue?
Yes, probably.
Okay, I'll share that one. I'll share. We'll watch that one.
We're actually.
I liked that one too, though.
I was a big fan of Dave just dancing.
Yeah. Well, I liked when he was flexing.
I love Dave Batista.
This is it.
Grandpa Dave. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
He's a grandpa.
He's an old man. He's 52.
He is, yeah.
Dave, it's me, Dave. I know you want to shimmy in the sun with all your friends, but right now, seriously, don't. Hang out from home. Your pants are optional. You can do it for America.
God,
Oh, that's great.
I love him so much.
His little dance, man, is great.
I love him so much.
I know you want to shimmy in the sun with all your friends.
That's
Don't.
great. Yeah.
Pants.
Don't.
Do it at home.
Seriously.
Pants are optional.
Don't.
Don't. Seriously, don't.
You know, if we have Dave reference on the show, I have to do this because I do it every time. But it's I'll move the mic away from my mouth. But it's I walk alone inside this pit of danger. I have to do it every time.
Every time you do that,
it's hard to not do it. It is really hard not to do it.
Yeah, it's like a drug for you. It's like a drug for you.
I do. I didn't notice the sun tattoo around his belly. I think he got it covered up, which makes me sad.
I'm sad.
Because it was a relic from the early 2000s. Late 90s.
Yeah, a relic.
It was a relic.
I love
Dave Bautista is fantastic, though. Do you think... I think his career... I mean, he's not going to be as big as The Rock as far as an actor goes because
he's already older.
Yeah, and it's almost impossible to do it anyways. But I love how his career has taken off, though, with like Guardians of the Galaxy.
And Stuber.
Did you watch it?
I haven't watched that yet.
It's on HBO.
Oh, I know. I just
Is
haven't
it good? Did you watch it?
got around to it.
I've started it a couple times.
I love both of those guys, though.
Here's what I got to say about it. It started really good, but I had a hard time enjoying it alone. It's a movie I would recommend watching with someone who also likes stupid comedies. I think I would have enjoyed it more.
That seems like a good like bro movie to have a bunch of people watch together.
Yep, agreed. Especially like us who all enjoy Dave.
Dave.
I do. Oh, Chick
enjoy
at the
him.
Beginning is from Orange is the New Black.
No, yeah. I knew that after I got to the end because the two of the people from Orange is the New Black on the.
Oh, so it's Laverne, right? One of them,
right?
From Orange is the New Black.
Yeah,
and so is the other one.
Yeah, she's one of like the two really ditzy like Mexican girls.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Who's super hot. She's one of the two really hot ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good show.
I never finished it. I gave up on.
I think I got to like season 3, honestly.
I gave up on the second to last season.
I gave up on season 2.
I made it further than I thought.
I don't want to say gave up because I don't know if it was something that I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. I don't know if it was like a conscious decision where I was like, I'm not watching Orange is the New Black anymore, or if it was more of like there was just other stuff on and I just started watching that instead, like probably The Office. I probably just. I don't know how
I didn't recognize her. Maybe it's because she wasn't in like a prison outfit.
I think that's it.
Yeah. They kind of doll them down on the show.
Oh, we all know that, Jesse. Here, I'll show that, but we all know that.
Yeah, the girl that plays Sock.
Yeah,
we all know Megan.
People in America love and hate her, right?
I'd prefer if it was the other Megan.
Oh, Jesse brought it. Jesse, I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge your Connor versus De La Hoya. De La Hoya, I also just saw the shots he's taken at Dana White. Things are getting interesting there. I don't know if it's like a real feud that's heating up, but the boxing people, spoiler alert, fucking hate Dana White.
Do they?
I don't like Dana White.
They really do. Most of them think that he's handling the whole COVID thing wrong. They also think that the Fertitta brothers, the guys who originally owned the UFC, built it, and then he's kind of just taken... Obviously, when they sold for billions of dollars a couple of years ago, he stayed on as like a figurehead, and the rest retired, like smart people. So De La Hoya and a bunch of other people are saying, you got rich because you owned 10% of the UFC, and the success wasn't really your own. And I want to see De La Hoya versus Conor McGregor. I think old-ass La Hoya fucking fucks up Conor.
De La Hoya is in one of my absolute favorite commercials ever. I think it was for HBO, but it was like a spoof of the Psycho movie. And someone like opens the shower curtain to kill De La Hoya in there, and he's like, "What are you doing in here, fool? I'm trying to take a shower." And he just fucking punches him out.
Jesus.
It's funny. It's a funny commercial.
I'm not going to lie. Everyone involved kind of seems like a turd. You know what I mean? Like, De La Hoya doesn't seem great. We all know that Conor's kind of a piece of shit, but also likable. Dana's just really, depending on what side of the fence you're on, metaphorically, you either love or hate Dana White, but I think most people hate. I heard a really good point on Colin's show this week that people just hate commissioners no matter what. Like, he was he was defending Goodell, and like, Goodell's done a lot of really great stuff this offseason, and people are still like, yeah, screw him, though. You know what I mean?
It's because they're authority figures,
right.
And you can blame Vincent Kennedy McMahon for that in the late 90s for making all of them a villain, because he's Mr. McMahon.
So here's my thing. I've never even gave a thought to what Roger Goodell does ever.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but
I have zero reason to boo him. I don't care.
Do you know why though? Do you know why that is though, Sean? I know why it is that you've never given it a thought.
Why?
Because you're not a late '90s Attitude Era wrestler fan. So you didn't watch wrestling and learn to hate Vince McMahon like the rest of the world did, because he's an authority figure, and you don't like the authority figures. You like Stone Cold, who's out there fucking chugging Steve Weisers and kicking the boss's ass.
I love Stone Cold.
Yeah,
well, I know. In retrospect, it's easy to love Stone Cold, but I'm just saying, like,
harder. It's hard to love Vince McMahon because he's a douchebag.
It's true, but this is actually before Vince McMahon's really shown more true colors over the last 20 years than what he ever has. But I mean, like, during this time, I don't know if we had a ton of reasons to absolutely hate him, unless you're like a huge Bret Hart fan.
Yeah.
But I mean, like now he's just a fucking monster. But I mean, like, before, like, we were just like, you know, we're like white trash America, right? And we got behind like Stone Cold, who's like the working man, you know, and Mr. McMahon, the owner. Ugh. Right? Yeah. Ugh. So then Roger Goodell, who's like probably a pretty nice guy.
Yeah, he seemed great during the draft.
He seemed sad during the draft.
People used to boo Stern for the NBA.
Right, which made no sense because
he's like the nicest guy.
Silver, everyone hates Silver. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, people get mad at Adam Silver. I'm like, how? Why?
He's an angel.
Yeah, both of them are really nice. I like both of them. And Goodell's fine.
He is fine.
You know what? A lot of it also is like a lot of it's Patriot fans too.
Well, that's one thing that's interesting about Goodell, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, is he's inconsistent with when he lays the law down, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like like basically, he's condemned a few players for life in the NFL, and then he's let a lot of other stuff slide.
Let me put this up here. Cobra versus Sacco match. Santino versus Mankind. I love it. I'm gonna go with Sacco every day. Mr. Sacco.
Oh God!
Don't tempt me with wrestling talk. I'll take the bait every time. Don't do it.
Which we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk wrestling tomorrow.
We are. Yeah, we're gonna watch the whole thing.
What time does it start?
Let's wrap this up and then we'll talk arrangements.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I'm gonna need a backup on this tomorrow.
Word.
All right. Well, everybody have a great weekend. I hope you tune in tomorrow to watch us watch Money in the Bank. We had a lot of fun last time with WrestleMania though, so I think this is something we do every time now. So I think it was just a fun time and loved it. So everybody have a great weekend. Let us know what you think about UFC tonight. Let us know what you think about the other topics we talked about, especially in the first 30 minutes where Nia Sport was mentioned. Stay safe, everybody, and we will see you soon. Peace out.
Yep.
Bye.